Hi, AT from CNC at Home. I have a couple stainless steel tumblers that I want to etch on, and to do that I want to use the P7. This is the Atomstack little portable P7. And to do the tumblers I will need to connect it to my rotary roller. Should be easy, right? Should be. If we look at how the Atomstack is set up, we have this cable that comes out of the controller. It's part of one big huge plug that goes in there, and this happens to be the Y-axis. See if we can get that here. So there's this big huge plug. This piece comes around, plugs in here, which is just an extension cable, runs all the way through to the other side, and then connects here. That being said, how am I supposed to plug this? This is a 4-wire, 4-outlet, little 4-plug thingy from the rotary roller. Where am I supposed to plug that in? I can't just unplug this because this is the wrong side. So I can't use that. I can't plug in here. Let's get that in the camera here. Can't plug in here because if I unplug this, again, it's the wrong kind of plug. What comes out of the controller is basically the same. It's the male or the female part of the plug, and then the other side here is just the extension, and then that's the male part. And I cannot connect here with this big huge plug because it's a big huge plug. It's not just an individual thing. So that's kind of a dilemma. Here's what I did find a while back under really close examination. There's another plug or an outlet on that controller board. And when I looked in on the controller board, it indicated it was another Y-axis. And it's also got 4 pins. Turns out this can plug into that. Into that. It's over here. So I did that, and the funny thing is, both the rotary roller moved, and on the Atomstack, here we go, and on the Atomstack, the Y-axis moved. So I had 2 Y-axes moving at the same time. That wasn't an issue. That I knew how to take care of. Pretty simple. Just come in here and unplug that. That then inactivates the Y-axis on the Atomstack P7, and then the rotary roller continues to function. So that's what I did. I've got some pictures. I'll show you kind of how that's set up. And the work in Lightburn is not all that spectacular. I did just a name on there at one point, and then I just found some flowers, some daisies and sunflowers to put on there. So I can show you the burning. There's really nothing to see in the Lightburn software as far as burning that. The one thing that there's really nothing to do about, but I didn't like about burning these tumblers, is the tumbler is not a cylinder. You know, there's a little part of it at one end that's a cylinder, and then it tapers down. So it kind of has a little shape to it. So I only had about 90 millimeters of relatively flat area on which to engrave. As I moved towards the part where it necked down, it went out of focus and stopped etching on the stainless steel, which is kind of cool because it kind of just gradually faded out, so it wasn't a big harsh line at some point. So anyway, the whole thing kind of turned out okay. Let's go take a look at the configuration how I had the Atomstack set up and everything plugged in, and we'll see how that worked. If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up. Here we have the control wire coming out of the rotary roller, comes up and around and into the Atomstack controller. It plugs nicely into this lower socket. This is the Y-axis for the P7. To inactivate it, we just pull this plug out, and that's all there is to it. Now the Y-axis won't move. Here's the rotary roller all set up, ready to go. We also see the Atomstack is set up on these little risers. These come with the Atomstack. It looks a little precarious, and it worked really well. Now that the etching is done, we can see these daisies turned out pretty well across the bottom of the tumbler, as did these sunflowers. Those tumblers turned out okay. Not the best, but not the worst either. They were just old tumblers that a friend of mine had, and they just said, "Hey, can you burn something on these?" I thought I'd give it a try. The Atomstack worked pretty well. It seemed very precarious sitting up on its little risers, but it was a trooper. Didn't fall down, didn't wiggle or wobble too much. The rotary roller performed like it has when we've connected it to the LE5040 or the LC50 Plus. It worked like it's supposed to. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content of our channel, think about subscribing. That really helps us out. Enjoy doing your CNC at home projects. Oops.